ready to match the stars. Gene Wood, Brett Somers, Gary Berghoff, Amanda Blake, Richard Dawson, and Joyce Bulaponte as we play the star-studded Big Money Match Game 74. And now here's the star of Match Game 74, Gene Rivers.
Thank you, Johnny Olson, and dear friends and salt of the earth. Thank you very much.
Saltiest person I know.
Listen, before it slips my mind, this lady and that short fellow up there.
Wait a minute. No. You didn't have to say that. That wasn't kind.
That tall fellow up there.
Well, that's a lie.
Recently taped a bunch of Tattletale shows, which will play in I don't know, a week or 2 weeks or 10 days or something like that. And we had just a Jim Dandy time, didn't we?
We had an absolute ball.
Yeah. And that fellow won practically every game.
Wait, that fellow and his lovely wife.
And his lovely wife, Janet.
I thought we only missed one question.
Were you on with your lovely
Yes,
wife?
I was on with my lovely wife.
Her name is Helen, dear.
Helen.
Never forget your name.
That's right.
She sends her regards.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
But we had a good time, didn't we?
Yeah, I wasn't on with my lovely wife. I was.
No,
on
you
with
were
my-
on with your
my
lovely
husband.
Frank
Yes.
Gilbert.
Yes, right.
He's just so lovely. Now, let's say hello to Pat Pollard and Maureen Thompson. Shall we say that? Hello there, Pat and Maureen. Pat's our current champ. He's got $1,200. He has won 2 games. And Maureen had her first round question, did not score with that at all. Your first round question will come up in a moment or so, but first this comes up for your attention. Push this button, reveal this question for Pat Pollard. Our first round question for him. Bernard was arrested on Election Day for blanking in the voting booth. That's what he done. I swear he done that. Bernard was arrested on Election Day, Pat, for blanking in the voting booth.
Did he do it more than once?
No comment.
Okay.
Think about it, Gary. Trust your first instinct. You're a smart feller.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, I got it.
Finally. Doesn't take her long, does it? But, you know, it's...
Terrific. You are brilliant. You really are.
Smart as a whip.
Love that wig. That's my most favorite wig that you wear. Yeah. Makes you look about 22 years old.
That's how old the
I
wig
had it
is.
glued to my head.
Right.
The wig is about 22 years old.
All right, Pat Pollard. Bernard was arrested on Election Day for blanking in the voting booth.
For sleeping in the voting booth.
He said sleeping. And that's the answer we have to go with. And let's see if it scores for him. Gene, was Bernard sleeping in the voting booth? I put it to you.
No, you do not, sir. I had several things come to mind, but Bernard was a conservative, so I said he was smoking.
Smoking in the voting booth. Wrong, against the law. Ooh. Yes, they really love you
Yes,
here
it's not
in
a
Los
conservative
Angeles. There,
program.
Brett?
My Bernard was a radical, and he was caught voting in the voting booth.
Terrific. Her Bernard was a veritable saint. All right, Gary.
My Bernard was no saint. My Bernard had an election day party just before he went to vote, and he had a great deal of beer, so he was relieving himself, and that's all.
Okay. Hey, leave him on camera. Watch him turn red.
I was boxed into a corner. I didn't know what to say. What should I have said, Richard?
Aren't you cute, Red?
Yeah, not
Okay,
that. It's a
Amanda.
dry state.
Well, he had to wait in line so long because there was a very large voter turnout.
Yeah.
And the pressure just got so bad, so he couldn't wait any longer. He was tinkling in the voting booth.
There, now. How do you like that?
Now, listen,
Lovely, tasteful lady like that
she
said the
didn't
same
turn
thing
red.
as a lovely, tasteful fellow like
Did you turn red?
Not in the least.
No, not in the least. Yeah.
brazen.
Okay. Yeah.
Brazen.
What did you say? Harry won?
Well, I knew Bernard very well.
Yes?
Nice little fella. He used to stand by a billboard near a girls' school going... And they arrested him for disrobing. X marks the spot.
That's right. Wasn't as conservative. He was a flashy kid, I guess. Okay, Joyce.
What was it your name used to be? My fellow was drinking in the dark.
Drinking. Hey. One point on the audience.
Has a very deep voice.
Okay. All right, so got a tight game going here.
Yes, sir.
As we go to round 2. I say, don't spoil your record now. Okay, here we go, Maureen.
A, please.
A again. All right, everybody plays. Harvey said, my neighbor's Great Dane is gigantic.
How gigantic is it, Gene?
Thank you, I'm glad you asked. Yesterday, he carried off my blank in his mouth. That's some big Great Dane, isn't it?
Yep.
Some great big Dane. Some big Great Dane. Hey, that works both ways, doesn't it? Harvey said my neighbor's Great Dane is gigantic. Yesterday, he carried off my blank in his mouth. Think about that. Maureen. Brett's finished, Gene's finished.
Okay.
I don't know what's wrong with Gary. I wish Charles Nelson Riley would come back.
This is a
To think I
great,
used to
huge
complain
dog.
about him.
A gigantic dog.
No, I thought you had the seats wrong by putting her in the dummy seat, but now I see you were right.
Be careful. She still carries a gun, you know.
Oh, yeah, she carries a gun, right. Small one. In her garter belt, right. Okay, here we go, Maureen. Harvey said, my neighbor's Great Dane is gigantic. Yesterday, he carried off my blank in his mouth.
Wife.
Wife. Here are a lot of yays, you see. You get the picture, this big dog is carrying this woman across, and they're cheering the dog. What do you say?
Well, it just seems so grotesque, the idea of a woman being carried away, so, you know, in a big dog's mouth like that.
Right.
So I said carried away the car.
The car. That's some big Great Dane.
Oh, hold on. Wait a minute, gang. It was a compact.
Oh.
Nothing still.
Right, Brett. Hello, Brett.
What a smart jacket he has on.
Oh, thank you.
But that's all.
Up to now, I've been very nice to you. Then I'm going to continue that way.
I would if
Because I find you attractive.
Thank heaven somebody does. Now, I want to know if this is a match.
glasses back on.
Can we get on with it?
Gary Berghoff is short, isn't it?
Yes, he is.
I think this may be a match. I said, baby.
No, the baby is not
Well,
married.
they're both persons.
Yeah, but the baby was not married. Gary, a wife is married.
Well, I said that he carried the brick in his mouth.
The what?
You don't know that joke, huh?
Harvey said my neighbor's Great Dane is...
Wife.
Why?
Hey! At the match. There's one for you, Maureen.
Well, it's a match. You don't have to be ashamed of that answer.
I
Hold
wasn't
up there.
ashamed. I'm not
Well,
ashamed
you just
of
said threw it
anything,
up there
sir.
and you threw it away there.
You don't believe me?
Yeah.
Stand up there.
Yesterday... No,
Don't give it away.
I want to tell you one thing. Watch Tattletales, because on the Thursday show, was that the Thursday?
I don't remember anything.
One of the shows that we taped together during that week, Gary did something that no one has ever done on that show before. So you watch.
He
All
just
right.
robed in the voting booth.
What did you say here?
Well,
Let me just review
yes.
this. Harvey said, my neighbor's Great Dane is gigantic. Yesterday, he carried off my blank in his mouth.
How about that? Well, I figured that this was probably a caveman. Harvey, is that his name?
Harvey, the caveman?
Was a caveman.
Oh.
Yeah, and so...
You're building a little story here.
I've seen your answer. It won't help.
I think I'd better. I think you're absolutely
All
right.
right, show and tell.
Well, it was a huge dog.
Yeah.
And he carried off Harvey's huge bone.
Okay.
Stand that.
They gave it to you.
You would boo a woman that comforted Marshall Dillon all those days. Come on now.
Took care of him and all that. What did you say there?
Well, Mr. Dillon, I said why?
Wife. That's two for you, Maureen. Two wives. Joyce, what are you offering?
I don't know what to tell you. I saw him with the wife.
Wife. Okay. 3 for you. Your second round question comes up, Pat, but right now we've got to do a little business, and this is it.